Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It is Monday morning, the start of a whole new week, and an exciting week, really, because a lot's going to go on, I think, this week. Right now, I am actually filming this early Monday morning at like midnight. So you could almost say Sunday night, Monday morning. And not much is going on. So some of the overseas markets opened up, but as some people know, it is a holiday in China today, which means usually you would see Chinese market trading on Sunday night because that's their Monday, but it's not happening today. So there's no one really to buy up the demands on silver. We've seen a nice little pullback at the end of last week, and a lot of people are thinking that there's a possibility we could continue to see a pullback Monday morning because the Chinese markets ain't open to buy it up. Now, we did see a slight pull up, which some people might wonder, well, we saw a pull-up. A lot of that pull-up is because there was demand in terms of, I mean, you see a dip, people are going to buy. However, how many people are really buying this little dip? There's a lot of people that think that silver is going to go a whole lot lower with summer coming. Personally, me, I don't entirely believe that. I think that there are entities out there such as countries, China, India, heavy manufacturing places that are realizing, you know what, silver's only getting more expensive, and it truly is. I really think that prices on silver are going to go sky high. Now, with that being said, I have to say, what does sky high mean? Sky high does not mean that you're going to have a $1,000 ounce of silver next month, or that you're going to have even $600 ounce of silver next month. I would not even say that you're going to see $100 silver next month. But what I do say, in my personal opinion, that prices are going to keep going up higher and higher. And, you know, these dips that we're seeing right now of $29 silver are going to be a blip on the screen at some point coming up, because prices are slowly moving up. And there's a lot of naysayers out there that want to say, nah, I'm not buying in on this hype because the price is high. But when you really look at the amount of silver that's coming out of the ground, when you really look at how much silver is being thrown away, and by thrown away, I don't mean that someone literally takes an ounce like this and just throws it in the trash. What I mean by that is when they manufacture with silver, generally we live in a throwaway culture, especially here in the United States. A lot of stuff gets thrown away, and recycled doesn't happen as much. Now, some countries, they're big on recycling. Not here in the United States, who is one of the largest consumers in the world, which means a lot of stuff gets thrown away. And to prove that, I mean, I have a weird habit. Some people might find this strange, where when I'm in my day-to-day travels or I'm going somewhere, I might see something on the side of the road and I'll be like, oh, they're throwing that away? What? And then I'll pull over, put it in the back of my vehicle, and then I'll drop it off at my house later that day. And if someone steals it out of the back of my truck while I'm doing my day-to-day things, so be it. I didn't have any money invested in it. However, many times I have picked up items and threw it in a yard sale, or took it to the scrap yard, or traded it off for something else that I wanted. I'm talking many times. I once picked up this nice dresser. I know I'm getting off topic a little bit. A nice dresser that I ended up turning around and selling $50 instantly, and bought a couple ounces of silver. Now, to stay on topic, I apologize for straying off a little bit, but where I'm going with this is that, you know, because we live in a throwaway culture, a lot of silver gets wasted in the form of anything: cell phones, computers, circuitry. It can be all the different things that you can think of that's used. I actually saw someone throwing away an old broken solar panel. They didn't care that there was silver in it. They just threw it away. They're like, it's broken. You can't use it for anything. So, I mean, there's a lot to think about that. Now, that's one of the reasons why I do like precious metals. I like investing in bullion, because we're seeing it continue to climb. And anybody that's been investing in precious metals for a long period of time, or really even just a year, I mean, probably the beginning of the year. If you got in the beginning of the year, I remember in December or January, it was only $22. Now, it does make me nervous a little bit seeing it go from $22 to $32. Even though we've seen a nice little pullback to $29, I still think that when you see these big jumps, there's a certain amount of worry out there that says, oh, the jump was too big, too fast. But here's the thing that people don't realize. The manipulation of precious metals has been going on for a very long time. And because of that, you've seen a lot of waste and a lot of short selling. And I mean, because of that, you have essentially shortages. Now, I think people need to really understand the difference between a shortage and all sold out. We're not sold out of silver. In fact, I don't even know, some people may take this the wrong way, I don't even know if we ever will sell out of silver. Why? Because the truth of the matter is there's always going to be someone that's willing to take a certain amount of profits. I mean, you take some of these coins in front of you that I've got right here. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't give them away at spot, but if silver goes to $50, and I know $50 is cheap on silver, but this is not my primary collection that you're looking at right here. This is what I put on camera to show you guys. And because of that, my primary collection, I don't plan on selling, but I would consider taking a small amount of profits if we were at $50, $60 silver and I was putting the money towards something else. There's this myth out there, and I call it a myth, even though a lot of people follow it. I guess I shouldn't even use the word myth, but there's this consensus out there that you should save a certain amount of dry powder for emergencies. And personally, I don't like that. I really don't like that belief. Yeah, I mean, I've heard as much as 6 months' pay. Can you imagine saving 6 months worth of pay in paper fiat currency as it's losing purchasing power every day? Now, can you imagine if every citizen in America was even able to save 6 months' pay? I mean, the average person can't. The average person don't even have any money left over at the end of the month. That's why they use credit cards. That's why the average net worth is plunged in price. Even though if you Google average net worth, you're going to see some high number. I looked it up one day, $700,000. I said, you name me someone that's got $700,000 net worth. Most people owe on their homes. Most people owe on their cars. Most people owe on their credit cards and college tuitions and all this other stuff. So how they came up with that astronomical number, because also these same studies will come out and tell you that the average American doesn't have $5,000 to pay for an emergency, but yet they've got a $700,000 net worth. No, I don't buy that for a minute. Can't be possible. Now, are there people out there that have okay net worths? Yes. Why do they have those okay net worths? Well, maybe they have a house that they're not in over their head on, and maybe they've even paid it off. The biggest thing, though, right now is 401ks. That's what's inflating people's net worth numbers. But here's the thing. A 401k almost locks you in. And I've done a lot of reading lately on that because I had a debate about this with one of my friends. And, he goes, well, you got to see it from the tax side. The tax, you're putting in a little bit of money at a time and you're not getting taxed on it. So it's not like it's real money. Or it's not like you have choices. You've got to lower your taxable income for the year, so by putting money in these things, and I'm like, I guess, but what does that really do? It locks you in for the long term, and it makes you miss out on stuff that is essentially sound money, sound returns. I know silver does not get you really cool dividends that stocks get you, and it's not flying up higher and higher every day. But here's the thing. If someone goes and sells one of these coins in front of you, I mean, yeah, I guess you have to pay taxes on it. There's, if let's say I go and I sell one of these, yeah, you pay taxes on the profit that you make. However, most people might accidentally forget that. I never would cheat my taxes in any way. But where I'm going with that is most people are just going to trade. I mean, they're going to trade the silver for what they need. Most people are going to hold it. It's constantly going up in value. And it blows my mind that people just don't realize it's almost like we've just been desensitized to everything around us. And as that happens more and more, we become further and further off the mark of where we should be going, what we should be doing, how we should be saving our money. I really look at 401ks, even though I had a long talk about this with a couple of friends, as a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. Why is it a Ponzi scheme? Because people keep putting their money into them. And yeah, when they're 65, then they can start taking it out at, I guess, tax-free. I don't even understand all the details of it. But with silver, there's just so many aspects that are out there that make it more profitable, in my personal opinion. And anybody that has a doubt here, I actually have a magazine right here. I wasn't going to even pull this out, but I'm going to pull it out real quick. Let me pause just for a quick second. So unfortunately, I don't have the returns for silver, but I have the returns right here for gold. And I've shown stuff like this before. This was just in a recent one. I shouldn't say too recent, but needless to say, it was sitting on my desk. So in 1999, gold was $290. Dow Jones sitting at 11,497, and S&P was sitting at 1469. Now, before you even look at the gold numbers, you come over here and you look at the value of it essentially 22 years later. So at the end of 22, you had, 33,000. I hear this time and time again. Oh, you should have put your money in the stock market. You should have done this, should have done that. You put it in the S&P, you're up to 38. Now, both of those are really, they're good returns. 188% return is pretty good. 161% return is pretty good. It's on record. They know you got it. You have it. You can't sell it really right off without paying a huge capital gains tax. And essentially, it's there. When you pass away, it goes to someone else, and essentially they're going to pay taxes on it. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax assessor, but from what I have read, if you put the same amount of money in gold at $290 and now $1,830, which is still wrong in that note, because now we're up to $2,400 roughly, $2,300. That's a 531%, but I'm looking at these numbers, so because it's already there for me. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, we will all pass away. It's part of life. But if you go and you pass away, your child or whoever you left it to can actually go and have it assessed, and you get it at the current value. As in their cost, your cost was $290. Their cost will be whatever it's assessed at the time of inheriting it. So that's why a lot of people, you look at like some of these rich families, like the Rothschild family, I'll say government, people that are in politics. Why do you think they're making gold so much more popular? They're making it tax-free to purchase. Why? Because they're purchasing gold and silver. And now, here's the thing. Yeah, those numbers were from a company that pushes a lot of gold. They sell a lot of gold, so obviously their numbers are tailored. And some people out there are going to say, well, that's gold, that's not silver. Here's the thing. Silver usually follows. Does it have extreme moves? Absolutely. Gold is a slow and steady. It slowly keeps climbing higher and higher. Whereas silver tends to slowly move up, and then all of a sudden it will have a big jump to catch up to gold. And that's why you see everybody look at what's called the gold-silver ratio. Because, when that swings and has huge moves, one day you could be getting silver 125. And if you think this is a mistake, you can look this up. A couple years ago, I looked at it, maybe a year and a half ago. 125 ounces of silver versus 1 ounce of gold for the same exact amount of money. Some people will say that's not true because of the premiums. And yes, that's a possibility that with the premiums, you're going to pay a little bit more. We're talking spot price, but still 125 to 1. When it comes out of the ground, some people will say 8 to 1. Some people will say 15 to 1. My belief is a 10 to 1 ratio is what it should be, you know. And it's crazy that people can't understand that. Because the truth of the matter is, there's a reason why stuff like these silver dimes right here are not worth a dime. They're worth a lot more. They're worth about $2.25 because silver continues to go up. Now, right now, with silver and gold taking a hit, there's a lot of people out there that are saying comments like, I wish I had sold when it was at the high. It's almost always at a new high. I hate to say it like that because some people are going to be like, that's not true or whatever. The reason I say it's almost always at a new high is because in the short time that I've had, well, I shouldn't say that like that. I have had friends that have been stacking for a short time. Some of them started buying less than a year ago. And some of them were unhappy because they picked up silver at $29 and then we've seen it come all the way back down. They got in at $29 and they were upset because we saw the price come down to 22. That's a very volatile swing for silver. And they thought, well, when they bought, everything bad was going on. There's a lot of stuff, government shutdown pending and this and that and this and that. And then all of a sudden, they roll out some imaginary info, and all of a sudden, everything's gotten better, and boom, silver comes back down. Here he was upset that he essentially bought in at the high, and now it's coming back down, and thinking he's hearing things that it could plunge, and this and that. And I laugh at that, because that's not really the way it works. Now we've jumped up to 32, and there's people that think 32.50 that they bought in at the high, and now we're down to 29. And these people are so sour about it or negative about it that they stop buying. They're not buying the dip. In fact, they're contemplating selling. Here it is now at 29 when they should be dollar cost averaging. I'll be honest, the lower it goes, the happier I am because the more I'm going to get for my money. Why do people buy silver in the first place? They buy it because it gradually goes up over time. The next big jump that we see could be as early as the Fed meeting coming up this week. If that happens, we could see, if they say the wrong thing, like they lower interest rates, which I don't think they'll do yet. We still got a little ways before the election. They won't do that until the election's closer. But let's just say they do. What do you think that's going to do to the price of metals? You know, the lower it goes, the more people buy. The average person in the room right now watching this video is going to say, I don't care if it goes down. I can get more for my money. We're looking for the dip. So when people say, oh, I wish I had sold when it was at the high, what would you have done with the cash? Bought some more useless trinkets that will end up on the side of the road? You know, what? Put it in the bank so you don't get any interest? I mean, banks ain't paying. Banks laugh at people because they give them their money for safekeeping, supposedly, and they end up just spending it, investing it. They make money off of it. I wish somebody was willing to loan me free money all the time. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, stuff's going up. Assets are going up, whether that be gold, silver, real estate. You know, I'm not going to knock real estate, that's for sure. I mean, I used to do real estate, but it was more in terms of flipping houses, not a real estate broker or seller. You know, so people need to understand what's going on, why people are investing in precious metals, why they're buying bullion. The truth of the matter is, when you look at the numbers, you look at the charts, everything is going up, including precious metals. Now, the downside is you can't have them back up a truck full of corn or a bunch of bales of cotton, maybe 100 barrels of oil in your swimming pool. You can't do stuff like that. But with silver and gold, it's tangible. You can hold it. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going to corrode. It ain't going to rot. It ain't going to cause some huge hazard. You know, and once people realize that, more people are going to get into it. The thing is, will you be into it already? Will you already have your position, or are you going to chase it when it hits $50 or $100 and then all of a sudden you're going to want to buy in? I'll be 100% honest with you. I first heard about silver when it was $5 an ounce, and I laughed at the person. To this day, I'm disappointed about that. I laughed at the person, and then I ended up buying it back in at 20. 4 times what I could have bought it for then. But, hey, we live and learn. So hopefully you're watching the channel, living and learning, and you're picking up some tips. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave me a comment. And I will see you guys again on T Square Talk. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.